Hello and welcome to this 2-day challenge designed specifically for cancer survivors that are going from barely surviving all the way to thriving. So I hope you love this as much as I do and it makes a huge difference for you. This is can be done either in audio format or in slideshow format. Both are fine. So allow yourself to do what works for you in your busy lifestyle, okay? So, welcome to Live Free. My mission for women in survivorship is to empower these cancer survivors to heal their trauma, renew their love for life, and revitalize their energy and overall well being. Who is this for? Who is this education for? It is for women who have been through cancer, women who have low energy, women who are feeling lost and they just don't know who they are now, women who fear recurrence daily, and women who feel that they are barely surviving. What you can learn from this training. You can expect to learn how to improve your energy and vitality levels. You can reduce fear, anxiety, and worry. Learn how to allow yourself happiness, joy, and contentment again. Because make no mistake, it is an allowing factor. Learn how to navigate this new normal since cancer treatments have been completed. Because truly, you are different now. I know that you don't want to be. I understand that. I didn't want to be either. But different does not necessarily mean bad. There are some beautiful strengths that are the new version of you, some beautiful opportunities that are the new version of you. And today we're going to discuss those. Stick with me to the end, meaning that you finish both days of training. Then you will receive a free one-on-one call with expert advice and tailored education plan just for you. These one-on-one calls are 120 for my graduates and 150 for new students. So you're definitely going to want to be taking advantage of this call. So, does this sound like you? Throughout my journey of mentoring women in cancer survivorship, these are some of the most common things that I have heard from survivors. So let me know if this sounds like you. If you feel tired and unfocused all the time, you're in a constant state of overwhelm, anxiety, and fear. You always feel isolated, like no one understands, like life is passing you by. You're always waiting for the other shoe to drop, always overthinking. That's a big one. And you always have no idea how to get back to normal life. These are common things that I said myself in the beginning of my survivorship journey before I got the proper support. And so I understand them very well on a very deep level. And I still hear them from women weeks, months, and years after they've finished treatment. So whether you are in the beginning stages of your recurrence or you've been there for a long time, or not recurrence, your remission, recurrence is not what we want, then understand that it is okay that you are where you are, but it can be done and you can heal. So if this sounds like you, I have good news for you. This is not the problem. All of these manifestations, these physical manifestations that are happening, they are not the problem. The true and real problem is that you have not utilized these three keys that I'm about to tell you about today. And these are going to change the name of the game because often some of our physical problems that we feel that need to be dealt with are often mental and quite a bit deeper. So let's talk about those and get you on the right track. So, what this will unlock for you, this training, imagine a life where you feel centered. Imagine feeling happy and full of energy again. Imagine feeling contented, at home in your body, fearless and present in the moment. Taking in those days, waking up every day, being grateful to be alive, and being able to be excited about everything. It's a beautiful place to be, and it's absolutely attainable. Imagine that you are able to give and receive love from your children, your partner, and your friends. You can focus again on since your energy has returned. You feel hopeful about the future, driven and passionate once again. How would that feel? You have regained control of your body and maybe your weight. As I know we all gained during the process. Your physical relationship with your partner has improved. You no longer overthink every minute of every day. Your stress levels have reduced considerably. Your sleep has improved. You're actually getting some sleep. You live every day with so much gratitude to be alive. And finally, you have learned how to enjoy every opportunity that comes your way. How amazing does all of that sound? Myself, my students are living proof that it's possible. Now, anyone can do this. Let me tell you a little bit about Maddie. Maddie was a past student of mine, and she had a always running through her head that this isn't going well for her and this isn't possible for her because of X, Y, and Z. So she had beliefs that she wasn't able to have the life of her dreams, that she wasn't able to get to the other side, that she was not smart enough, strong enough, powerful enough, young enough, any of these things. And therefore, it wasn't, what, why bother? Why get to the other side? So, one thing that she said to me before the course was finished was, "You are amazing. I've never done any kind of course like this before, or even bought a self help book. You've just completely blown my mind, and you are meant for this." Maddie has gone on to do beautiful things. She feels so good in her body, so good in her family, and everything has really changed for her. We've stayed connected, and it's just been beautiful to watch her shifts and changes. So who the heck am I? If you don't know, if you're already following me, then I will let you know a little bit about who I am. I am a Saskatchewan girl, born and raised. I used to work in a health food store prior to being diagnosed with cancer, because we all know there's kind of an AD and a or rather a BC and an AD. You know what I'm saying? Before and after. And anyway, I worked in a health food store. I loved all things health. I was a yoga instructor, meditation instructor, overall really, really healthy person. So this really came as a shock to me. I am a two-time cancer survivor, which means that I had both breast cancer in stage 3, and then I also had lung cancer in stage 2. So I spent a very great deal of time believing that I was in a stage 4 diagnosis. So it was about 5 months that myself and my oncologists believed that I was in a stage 4 diagnosis. And although stage 4 does not mean death, it is often where our minds go as survivors, is that if we have stage 4, how much time do we have left? So that was really a big reckoning for me. I believe that what I went through really shifted and changed me as a person, because, as I say, I faced the Reaper. And once I did that, I feel that I looked at life so differently, just as your trauma has done the same for you. Big changes have happened since then. Since working in a vitamin store and doing yoga, I have moved fully into my role of mentorship. I did have a life coaching business prior to this, but it was kind of dabbling, and I wasn't exactly sure who I was helping. And then when everything happened and I went through this cancer journey, I decided the simplicity of it was that I was going to help survivors. And the reason why is because my survivorship journey was by far the hardest part of my journey. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth. And I know that if you're listening to this, you understand. Somehow or another, throughout the actual process of going through cancer treatment, I felt strong. I felt everything felt possible, and I felt like I could do it. But what was fascinating was that once everything slowed down, it's like the trauma came in. And suddenly I was facing all of this pain and I had no idea what to do with it. On top of that, shortly thereafter, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer herself. And so that was a huge reckoning as well, because I had to go back through the whole process in a short period of time with very little time in between our diagnoses, where I had to go back into the ring with her. Prior to that, I also lost my stepdad to cancer. And so, therefore, over half of my family has had cancer at this point. So, cancer has been a huge, huge part of my life and my husband's life. His side of the family also has Lynch syndrome, which is a syndrome that attacks the digestive systems of 80% of the people with the genes. So, we have a lot of cancer in our life, and therefore, it just became my passion. It became who I wanted to help, how I wanted to help them, and there's nothing else that I'd rather do than help you to get to the other side. Outside of that, I do have certifications, but that's not qualifies me to help you. I do have my certified life coaching. I am a meditation instructor, yoga instructor, a Reiki master, and energy healer. And of course, the most important part, a lifelong learner. Okay, so let's get into the training a little bit. Actually, I need coffee. One moment. All right, so there's an old way and there's a new way. And the old way is the martyr. I call this person the martyr. They're the person that finishes their cancer treatment and launches into all kinds of ways to control their life, but not into ways that are actually going to make a difference and move the needle forward for them in terms of their mental health. So that person is just trying to get back to life. They're avoiding certain social situations, like places where there might be drinking or there might be food that they believe they shouldn't be eating. They're trying not to think or talk about it. They just want to get back to life. They're cutting out all sugar, alcohol, uh, you know, processed foods, anything that could potentially move the needle forward in terms of recurrence. They struggle with fear and anxiety all by themselves and they don't tell anyone about it. And finally, they're on Google all the time trying to figure out how they can avoid recurrence, as well as trying to find support within support groups and just really constantly spinning themselves in circles. So that is the martyr. Now, with the new way, which is the way that you learn with me, is the embodied thriver. The embodied thriver decides on the new life that she wants. So rather than avoiding these social situations out of obligation, maybe she avoids them because she doesn't care anymore. She decides the social situations that she wants. She's magnetic and thriving. People describe her as such. She learns to balance food, enjoyment, freedom, maybe alcohol, whatever's right for you, all within understanding the risks, the benefits, the returns, and still choosing anyway to live balanced. Having a huge compassion for moments when she needs support. So she's reaching out to those friends and she has truly found her tribe. So she has found the other survivors that are connecting with her. She has found a community and she knows where she can go for help. Now, how did she get here? She utilized the three keys that I teach. The keys are examine, realize, and empower. And to break them up further, examine is the Thriver secret sauce. Realize is the laser focused clarity on what is keeping you stuck. And finally, the empower, which is the embodied woman success factor. So let's break those down for you now. The Thriver secret sauce. Examine limiting beliefs and learn to forgive. So we need to understand what the heck just happened to us. and learn to forgive the parts of ourselves that we are shaming and blaming. That is important. Followed by learning what our limiting beliefs are around healing, getting our lives back, feeling like ourselves again. What is holding us back there? Most people do not believe on a subconscious level. So there's the conscious mind, the one that's thinking and listening to me now. And then there's the subconscious mind, the one that is connected to all of our childhood traumas, all of our experiences, all of the things that we've come to know as true, depending on where we grew up and the people around us. And that is telling you whether you do or do not agree with the things that I'm saying. And so that is the subconscious mind. So a lot of people on a subconscious level do not believe that they are the type of people who can be happy again. These beliefs are running subconsciously and they lead us into a shame and blame loop. If you do not change these limiting beliefs, what can you expect? Most people stay stuck year after year in the same loop of shame, blame, and self loathing, trying to control their environment, following by not being able to. So then they begin the shame, blame, and self loathing loop. You will never fully commit to improving your situation because you feel powerless. You're going to miss out on happiness, health, vibrancy, all of the things that you're craving and that can be there for you now. If you do move above limiting beliefs, however, then you can feel the health and heal your body, your mind, and your spirit, and you'll because you feel capable to do so. You'll be in a vibrational match for the goals that you have. You will finally stick to and complete self-improvement that you have always wanted to have. And your mind will become balanced and calm, and therefore you will see what must be done in order to restore your energy and your health. So let's talk a little bit about how to get above limiting beliefs. First of all, you have to identify what they are. This takes time, and generally, journaling is a great way to start to identify the limiting beliefs because your conscious mind is telling you all kinds of things all the time, and those conscious thoughts are powered by your subconscious mind. So the conscious thoughts are the veil for what's really happening. But what ends up happening when you are in community, when you are in journaling, and when you are in conversation with somebody who is skilled to help you understand them, is they begin to pop up for you. So today we're starting with journaling because this is something you can do at home. So everything that you see on the slide and in the show notes is going to be the journal prompts for today. So no need to write them down. They will be available for you. So you're going to be answering questions on pen and paper and watching what comes through. Do you feel unworthy of happiness? Do you feel if you allow yourself to be happy again, you'll be blindsided? Do you feel you are not strong enough to overcome this confusing time in your life? Do you feel you caused your own cancer through something you did or didn't do? And what does that shame cause you to think about? Do you feel some people are just lucky and you aren't? So these will help you to understand and uncover these limiting beliefs. And when you uncover limiting beliefs, once you understand them, which takes time, once you uncover your limiting beliefs, you can get to a place where you can flip them and you can create new and stronger beliefs. These can be ingrained deeper in forms of meditations and subconscious reprogrammings. But truly, the realization is the first step. Just realizing what your limiting beliefs are empowers you to understand how you can learn differently so that they're no longer running in the background. And when they're running in the background, they're ruining your life without you even realizing it. So, number one is we need to get past these limiting beliefs. So, I'd like to give you an example of one of my students who was able to do so. Her name is Stephanie, and she did the most amazing job in the course. It was unbelievable what she went through. She was able to move from telling herself that she could not lose the weight, that she could not live the life that she wanted, that she could not move to a new place and take care of herself and be the single, empowered woman that she wanted to be. And therefore, she was caught in this loop for 30 years. She had continued and continued to keep herself small because she didn't believe that she was able to do so. After spending some time with Embody Your Recovery, she was able to come to the other side and is now in a place where she feels empowered. Since the course, she has gone to Cuba. She has moved to the most amazing place and is loving her new job. She has started to lose weight like crazy, and she found an amazing, amazing, amazing man that she is currently going on blind dates with. So I've been keeping up with her, and it's very exciting. Next, we are moving into the second key. The second key is laser focused clarity onto what is keeping you stuck. Now, here's the rocky part of the training, the part that you might not like. So, what is keeping us stuck is the stories that we are telling ourselves that are defining us. As survivors, we have a lot of stories. Our stories are that we are a fighter. Our stories are that bad things happen to us and not other people. Our stories are is that we have too many problems. Our stories are that we will never be able to have the life that we want to have again. Our stories are that we are going to be always compounded by side effects, and those will always be there. And so the problem is that these stories perpetuate themselves. We will, without realizing it, look for confirmation of our stories that we've been telling ourselves, and we'll continue to perpetuate the issue. It's quite amazing without realizing it how we can continue to perpetuate the thing that we most do not like because we are focused on it. And that is by way of mirror neurons. So, as I said in this slide here, it is all vibrational. So when we are in a low vibration, which is what we are when we are in our stories, then we will continue to draw in the same vibration. And that's whether you are into woo woo or not, there is science to back this up that like attracts like. So if you are feeling low and feeling side effects, your body will, physiology will move and change in order to give you more side effects to prove to you that you are correct. It's quite unbelievable, including the people around you through way of mirror neurons. The way that you hold yourself, your body, and the way that you act as a person is going to have a reflection in the way that they treat you, speak with you, help you or don't help you, all based on the way that you feel. So if you do not get past your stories and the things that are keeping you stuck, you'll continue to experience the side effects, low energy, confusion, and anxiety. Specifically, energy, that's a big, big one because they talk about how many survivors, years and years down the road, are still feeling low energy. The reason for this is not because of the radiation and the chemo that you went through 5 years ago. It's because the continued anxiety and overwhelm that is plaguing your every thought. The best way I can describe it is when you are extremely stressed out in life. Some people lose weight, some people gain weight, some people get rashes, some people lose hair, all kinds of things. So to believe that our body and our mind are not connected is absolute ludicrousy. So if you are in a place where you do not have your energy, understand it's because of this continued anxiety and overwhelm that is plaguing your every moment, perpetuated and brought on by your stories that you're telling yourself. The world around you will continue to affirm for you that it is in fact as bad as it is. You will continue to feel mental pain and stress daily. You will seek to numb, distract, and avoid rather than doing the things that you know you need to do in order to regain your health. And the reason for this is because discomfort is uncomfortable, and we as humans are very good at numb, distracting, and avoiding. Then our limiting beliefs come in and they say, hey, you're not smart enough, strong enough, intelligent enough, powerful enough, committed enough. And so then the shame loop begins, and we get thrown back into that shame loop and we do it all over again. Do you see how this could be a very destructive pattern? So if you do change these stories, a huge weight will be lifted and you will finally begin to enjoy your life again. You'll be proud of what you have been through and turn your pain into power. So you can still keep your stories, you can still keep what you've been through, but we can transmute and alchemize those stories to serve you. Your energy and concentration and vitality will return, and you remain poised and purposeful in the face of adversity. So, how do we get this laser focused clarity? I'm going to prompt you again to journal. Journaling is going to be a huge difference because what comes through the pen is often a lot deeper set in our brains than our conscious mind is willing to let go. So, understand that your subconscious mind will come through that pen onto paper. So, let's understand our stories with these questions. They will be in the show notes, so no worries there. Do you feel your life is a nightmare? Does it feel unfair? Do you feel someone, something, or some being is to blame for your hardships? Are you waiting for your circumstances to improve before you can become happy? That's a big one. List out all the bad things that have happened to you in the past few years. And then here's where we flip the story. Here's where the teaching comes in. Then I'm going to have you write how these things happened for you instead of to you. So this sounds really hard. I get it. And it is not a fun experience, but it is so important to do because this alone, if you learn nothing else from this training, this is going to change huge things for you. Right away, you're going to start seeing the change. It's pretty impressive how it works. So let's give you an example. Something simple. So say your dishwasher flooded and the kitchen flooring had to be torn up. Now, that could be easily misconstrued as happening to you. However, perhaps the for you is that you were able to renovate the kitchen, and that was something you've always wanted to do. So that's a flip that you can do. This is called flipping the coin. So we're going to flip the coin on all of the bad things that have happened to us in the last few years, and that includes cancer and everything that has happened as a result of. We'll break that down into even smaller chunks if you have the time. Things like, when you found out the scan wasn't quite as good as you wanted it to, even though you thought you were in a good direction, that would be another thing you could write down. For me, the flip of that is that having the scan over and over and over again not give me a conclusive result made me and prompted me to want to remove the nodule in my lung. And once it was removed, I found out it was cancerous before I even knew I had cancer. Okay. So that was the flip. And the way that, as awful as sitting in 5 months of feeling like I was in stage 4 cancer, that's how amazing it was that the flip was able to help me to understand that that was, in fact, a good thing, even though it didn't feel like it. And not always are you going to be able to find a good thing for these, but you are going to at least find a way that it served you. Okay, so that's going to be another really important thing to journal on. So at this point, this is the end of day 1. And this is the point where you will begin to do your journaling, ruminate on what you have learned in this last half an hour, and hopefully have discussions with friends or family, somebody that you trust, in order to have a little bit of clarity about what I might have talked about today and help that to get even deeper. Do spend time on the journaling questions. It is so important. You do not get the transformation without the journaling questions. I mean, this is all well and good and interesting, and I get that. But without the journaling questions, you will not get into that deeper part of your brain, which is really the part where we find limiting the beliefs, the places where we need to forgive ourselves, and finally, those stories that are keeping us stuck. Okay. So this is where you will go forward and enjoy the rest of your evening. And then when you are ready, then you can resume and we will begin day two. Following forward with day two, when you are ready, maybe you felt like doing it all in one day. That's okay too. If you feel that you have the stamina to keep going, then keep going. Next, I would like to move into the embodied woman success factor. The embodied woman success factor is a amazing way of transmuting all of the things, all of the deeper work that was in day one, and changing it over into how can I become powerful? How can I become limitless? How can I become magnetic and excited about life? How can I do that dream trip, go on that dream place, jump out of that plane, do all the things that I've always wanted to do and be the person that I've always wanted to be? So, the embodied woman success factor is the alter ego or the version of you that is below the surface, hiding behind all of the gunk that we talked about in day one, among other things. But this is definitely a huge part is the first two keys. So how can we embody the person that we really want to be? How can we take the pain that we went through in cancer treatment and transmute and transcend the person that we've become and instead say, I know who I want to be and become her instead? And really, what that is it's not changing who you are, but it's instead turning up the volume on the person that you have always been, hiding below, playing small, not feeling like you're enough, having all of these limiting beliefs and stories that are keeping you from getting to the place that you'd like to be. So, realizing that you are different now, yeah, and how can you turn that to serve you? Yes, you are different now, but you have an opportunity at this time to say, "Hey, I want to be this." And everyone would be like, "Well, she's been through cancer." So she made some big changes, and so everyone would support you in it. Not that it matters what people think, you can do this at any point. But you happen to have a experience that you've gone through that warrants this big radical change, and everyone would agree that this is an opportunity for big and radical change. You can become magnetic, fun, and confident. You don't have to stay small in order to be worthy of love. And that is something that we go a lot deeper on because that is such a deeply rooted issue with women is that we believe that we should continue to stay small so that we can be worthy of love. Make sure everybody, you're seen and not heard and you're meek and timid and so that way you'll be lovable. You can choose to be calm, fearless, and at peace. You can utilize the pain that you've gone through to launch you to the next level. Now, if you do not embody the embodied woman success factor, then you will continue to play small, always wondering where you could have been or who you could have been. You will continue to stay overwhelmed and people pleasing. You'll continue to be indecisive and unclear as to what needs that you want in this world. You won't know what you want to change, improve, or shift in order to feel healthy and vital. You will try and fail at creating healthy habits over and over again because you are not being the type of person who does X, Y, and Z. So let me explain that a little bit. There is a model called be, do, have, and most people do it backwards. So for example, going to the gym. They start going to the gym, try to find the willpower in order to be the physical fit person that they want to be. But instead, I'm inviting you to do it the other way around, to embody the type of person that you want to be that person, to learn how to take care of yourself, demand the needs that you have, set the boundaries that you need to set in order to be the type of person who has the type of respect that she wants. For example, in the gym example, to be the physically fit person who goes to the gym often and finds the willpower to then have the body that they want to have. So we switch the script in the embodiment woman success factor is first you embody, then you gain what you're wanting. Now, if you do live unapologetically, then your energy will become powerful and irresistible to even you. It's pretty amazing. You'll begin to live every moment with so much grace and gratitude. You'll begin to see the world as a beautiful and loving place. You'll forget fear, and that will begin to dissipate for you significantly. There is times where you still feel fear, but because you are such an empowered woman, you see and understand what that fear is, and you're able to respect it and allow it to stay in a way that doesn't cause you damage. Your relationships will improve and your mind will become ordered and clear. So, some journal questions for you today. In part two, there's only one set of journal questions, so spend some time on this. Who do you want to be? What would you want your life to look like? And how do you want to feel? What is the version of you that you want to be focused on? Habits, hobbies, daily activities? What does her life look like? Now, what are your best attributes? How can you turn up the volume on those attributes? So, for example, if you're funny, how can you start to bring more humor into your life and into the lives around you if that's something you enjoy? If that's something that you'd like to turn up about yourself? How can begin to turn up the volume on your current traits that you already have and make them the center point and focal point of the type of person that you'd like to be? What attributes would you like to cultivate in yourself? And how can you begin to cultivate those attributes? So I'm going to write all of the questions in the show notes, so no worries about writing those down. But this is kind of the fun part. Day two is more fun. First day is kind of more introspective, and day two is more fun. This one is all about understanding what is good about life. How can you really start to embody the type of person you want to be? How can you transmute this cancer to serve you in a way that makes you blossom and bloom in a way that is like you can't even comprehend it. It's so exciting. I know that when I channeled this part of myself, the embodied woman success factor, everything changed for me. It was really quite extraordinary. People started mentioning all the time how confident I was, how fun I was, how much I've changed, and how powerful I was really something that I really got a lot. I also found that I began to believe it way quicker than I thought I could. And so I got to a point where I became her, that this version of myself, so much quicker than I thought was at all possible. And then suddenly I just was her, and there was nothing, I was no longer pretending. And a story of this is with Beyonce. She talks about Sasha Fierce and how this was the embodied version of her, the alter ego of her that she channeled when she needed to go up on stage and shake. Because she was born and raised in a family that was very religious and very timid. And so she had to go up on stage and channel this other part of her. Now, I know that probably sounds crazy to you if you know who Beyonce is that, what? No, she was never timid or shy, but yes, she was. And so she channeled this alter ego. She learned this work and she was able to do so. And now, since then, she just is this person. She said there was a point where where Sasha Fierce and Beyonce, or whatever her original name is, became one and the same, and there was no more need for pretending. So this same work can be done for you as well. So let's talk a little bit about Shauna. Shauna did the embodied woman success factor in a past program, and it was unbelievable the changes that she made specifically in career. This was one story that was really big. She said to me that she felt like her class was out of control. She was a teacher. She felt like her class was out of control. They could feel her discontent, her discomfort, her unhappiness, and they wouldn't respect her. She couldn't connect with them, and she was really beginning to hate her job. And as most of us know as survivors, it's really difficult to go back to work in the first place, especially when everyone around you is mirroring, as we spoke about, mirroring the way that you're feeling inside. And so she channeled Beach Babe, as she called it. And Beach Babe was this fun loving, chill, relaxed girl who loved turquoise and feather earrings. She was super fun and lighthearted and was able to let water off a duck's back at any point because she just loves living life to the fullest. So she channeled Beach Babe, and she came back to me and said that she could not believe how the class had completely changed the way that they treated her, the way that they conducted themselves in class, and the way that she began to feel about her job. Her boss no longer tried to tell her to do things that were unfair, like her principal. She was able to say no to things, and they respected that. And she even began to find that they no longer even asked. She didn't even have to put up a boundary because people realized that she had so much more respect for herself that they couldn't actually tell her to do things that she didn't want to do because they knew that she wouldn't. And so it was unbelievable how much changed for her. The little comment bubble that I have here says, "I swear, Christine, I'm not the same person anymore." That was a really exciting day when she said that. So, on that note of exciting transformations, I've got a couple of case studies here, student proof of women who have gone through the course and have felt that they've had some big changes. So, bear with me here as I read them out. So one woman said, "Awesome. I've had another shift. I recognized over the weekend that I'm really starting to be mindful of who I spend my time with and honoring that what energy that I have for the energy that I have for it. I shifted plans Friday night as a gathering changed from a small couple people thing to a larger gathering I didn't have the energy to host. So I then moved the smaller gathering to Sunday. It was so exciting for her. She really made that difference and she felt that she preserved her energy." Next, another woman, before I took the course the very first time, I would say I was just feeling really depleted. I was exhausted and really missing connection with people. I had no boundaries and I was pouring from an empty cup. Another woman, "Thank you for teaching women that it is okay to be where they are and that intentional rest is so important." Another woman said, oh, this is Shauna. She said, podcast number 7 is what I needed this afternoon while doing dishes. It all makes so much sense. I felt so much resonating today. I didn't want to go to work and felt just tired and kind of defeated. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to be beach babe today and rock it and the day went great. I just love how you ended with the quote that I've heard before, but it landed even better today. Another woman said, "Absolutely. The whole course has me re examining the way that I do things. I feel better in so many ways." And finally, the last woman, "You know how I said I felt drawn to this and that it's what I felt I needed," referring to the course. This week is the week that I needed. In the past year or so, a lot of my past trauma that I've buried is coming back to the forefront again in life. And it has made me realize how much of what was I was trying to control in life. And this reframing and of calling it a story resonates so much with me. So Stories Week was really impactful for her. So today I promised that you are going to help to learn to improve your energy levels and your vitality levels. I said that you would learn to reduce fear, anxiety, and worry. I said that you would learn how to allow yourself happiness, joy, and contentment again. And I said you would learn how to navigate this new normal since cancer treatments have been completed. I feel as if I have given you all of those tips and tricks today that can be implemented. However, it is not enough to be in just one challenge. It is important to go deeper. So you can continue to do this challenge over and over and over again, and you will see huge and lasting results. Or you can continue on and go deeper with me into future lessons and trainings. This is up to you. In order for these changes to have long lasting effect, repetition, support, and practice is the name of the game here. So, if you want to go deeper with me and these keys and many more, then I invite you to take advantage of the call that I promised you. In this call, we will take a deep dive for you for 45 minutes to help you to uncover what is holding you back. You will receive expert advice and mentorship tailored for you and your specific needs. We can uncover your stories if you'd like, or your limiting beliefs. A personal invite and discount code for my signature course, Embody Your Recovery. If it's a fit, will be given to you, and only if it's a fit. And if it's not a fit, I will still give you the resources, other trainings, complimentary trainings, book recommendations, or referrals on to people that I believe can help you. Because the ultimate goal that I have for you is to help. I want to make a big difference for you. I want to get you to the other side. I know what it feels like to have a difficult time getting out of bed. I know what it feels like to feel like it's this is how your life is always going to be. And I know what it feels like to free myself from that. And so I want that for you. If that sounds good to you, then you can book a call through the link below and we will meet over Zoom. Okay, so you will choose a date and a time. We will meet over Zoom or Facebook Messenger or Instagram Live, whatever works best for you, whatever platform you prefer, and we will connect for that call. So ultimately, you have two choices. You can choose to continue to go at this at your own with varied success. You can continue to go in the path that you've been going through, and sometimes you will win and sometimes you won't. And that is fine if you choose that. Or, secondly, we can connect personally on this call. We can see if we can create a life for you that you enjoy waking up to. And I am very confident that I absolutely can make a huge change for you in your life because I've seen it so many times in the past students that I've worked with, and I'm so looking forward to the future students because I know that this is going to be a huge change. Now, in regards to how long is this Embody Your Recovery course, what is the price, all of these types of things, all of those things will be discussed in the call. It is a 10-week course that is done digitally, and we can talk about all the different ways that we can make this possible for you. And if it's not a good fit in the end, then I won't be offering it to you anyway. Okay? So this call is for you no matter what. Now, finally, thank you for allowing me to be in your home today. Thank you for allowing me to give you some of the knowledge that I have, and hopefully, it is starting to churn some some bubbles for you, and you're starting to feel like, okay, I see that it really is the mind. It really is happening all in the background, and that is influencing the life around me and the physical things that I'm feeling. When you begin to believe that and understand that, you can really start to make changes. But what it comes down to is that nothing changes if nothing changes. So it is so important that you make a change of some kind, whether that's going forward with me and going deeper, collapsing the timeline, getting the connection that you need now, or finding another avenue, something that fits for you better. Either way, nothing changes unless something changes. Okay. So I want that for you. Make a change. Stop being here. Stop being stuck. You don't have to be. You get to make the choice and you get to make it better. Okay. So thank you for taking the time for part one and part two to be here with me. I'm so grateful. I love the challenge. Connect with me. Let me know how that went and leave a review. I would love that. But additionally, connect with me on Instagram at live.free.wellness and let me know how the challenge is going for you. If you have any questions of any kind, I am a human being. I'm always available and around. So get connect with me. Let me know how this is going and feel free to book the call below. Do book the call right away if this is something that you're wanting, because the Embody You is coming up for enrollment very soon. And because of that, there is times where you can and cannot get connected. So if this is something that you're wanting, then you're definitely going to want to book the call, get the information about it with no strings attached. That's up to you, and then you can make an educated decision with ample time. Okay? So, thanks again. Have a beautiful day and keep healthy. Keep doing it. Keep rocking it. You got this, girl.